So I'm going to try my best to explain this in a way that's going to land and make sense, because it's a lesson that I've been continually learning over the years, and it's one that I think I'll continue to learn as time passes. Constantly having to reaffirm this idea that sometimes people just expect too much from you, and that's what it comes down to. I have a problem saying no at times, and for many of us, when we value contribution and being of service, this can be a difficult thing to navigate. And what I've been struggling with the most recently is the fact that I'm quite fortunate in the sense of I have a job which pays me a salary regardless of whether I'm away working or not. So many people think that I have a lot of free time on my hands and I'm not really up to much. I'm not really doing anything. But for me, doing might be something as simple as spending time with my dog, adventuring. Even if I'm just in my van reading, that is how I would be choosing to spend my time, because that's what I find value in. It's essential time for me. But a lot of the time, people won't understand this. Oh, you're just playing your guitar, you're not really making any money with those little videos that you make. Why don't you just come and help me? You're not doing anything anyway, you're free. And herein lies the problem. We often have people who ask things of us and they minimize how valuable your time is to yourself. And it becomes more difficult because we're accustomed to saying yes immediately or having to give an answer immediately in this society. The person who actually wants something, let's just say it for what it is, they want something from you, they've got an incentive. A lot of the time, they like to hide the incentive, and they will have had time to think about how to approach you or pick up the phone and articulate themselves in such a way that makes it more appealing for you, i.e., this will benefit you in some sort of way. But you won't get that time because they'll pick up the phone and say, "How's it going, mate?" So, and it's all landed on you like a ton of bricks. And that's the first point I'd like to make. It's very important to give yourself that space to think about whether it is that you're actually invested in what they want from you or not, whether you're willing to do that for them or not, and not feel pressured into giving an immediate answer, which can be very challenging because people can be pushy. Especially if it's something that they really want, they will push for it. And they can often take advantage of your good nature. So there's really two ways that I look at this, right? A part of it is learning to flow with life, saying yes to things, and believing that there might be something within this that's not obvious. There's a lesson here for me to learn, or there's something that this might bring about. This experience might bring something about that I just can't comprehend unless I say yes and follow this through and see how it goes. And then on the other hand, we've got this idea of, well, saying no is actually a powerful practice in taking our own power back. It communicates self-respect towards ourselves, and it says something about your character to other people as well. It shows you've got a bit of gusto, you've got a bit of backbone, and you're willing to stand up for yourself. Those of you who have become familiar with the concept of the inner child, for example, at stages of our early development, parts of our psyche fragment. They become fragmented due to traumas and bad experiences, and a part of you becomes stunted at that particular time. So that part of you is looking for you to put it first. That part of you might have learned to people please and say yes just so that it can feel safe. If I say no, I feel threatened, I don't feel safe within myself. So that learned pattern of behavior has to be challenged over time. Your adult self has to reassure that fragmented younger part of you that we all carry within us. It has to reassure that part that it's going to put itself first, that it's going to listen to its needs before other people's, by saying no and not prioritizing what other people want over the needs and wants of your fragmented inner child. So that's another edge of the sword. It's another part where it becomes a little bit difficult to distinguish between the two, and that's why giving yourself the space to really question whether you're just acting on impulse, acting on a people-pleasing mechanism that you've picked up in early years, or you genuinely want to help or surrender to the flow of life. And this is the dance that I feel like I'm a little bit caught up in, because I won't lie, I recognize a pattern within myself. I will say yes on impulse because I've created this idea that that's what I do. I like to be of service. I like to help as and when I can, if I'm capable. And if someone's in need, I will typically prioritize them over myself. But if you haven't spent the time energizing yourself with the things that you like to do, i.e., taking your dog for a walk, being in nature, reading your books, making videos and playing music, then the resentment starts to creep in. Now, it might be subtle at first. I still see it quite subtly, but it also manifests itself in more aggressive ways. And I see that in my past behavior, and I also see it within the friend circles that I still have. Someone will say yes to something, commit to it, and then they'll phone all their friends, myself included, complaining, bitching and moaning about them as if they had no hand to play in it, as if they have been the innocent victim in all of it. And that's what we would probably call the martyr archetype. Doing selfless, or what appears to be selfless, acts for others, and then growing bitter and resentful towards the very person that they were intended to help. That's not selfless. That's selfish. And there's a distinct difference there. So it's recognizing these patterns coming up within myself and learning to let go of them. And that's one of the beauties of following through and saying yes. It will reveal where your resentments are, and then you're given the opportunity to let go of them. But on the other hand, there's equal value to be had in prioritizing yourself, saying no to other people, and that'll establish a sense of trust and respect for yourself. It will recommunicate and reaffirm to your inner child that you're putting its needs first, because that's good. That feels good when you do that, especially if it's going against earlier patterns, but it also can come with a little bit of resentment. And that resentment can often present itself as, I've said no, but now I feel guilty. If that person hadn't presented me with that proposition, I wouldn't feel this guilt. So it's their fault. Then you slip into blame. So it's being aware of all of the little facets as they unfold and choosing to come from a place of truth rather than being guided by earlier coping mechanisms and strategies that we picked up as kids, or being a yes man. So I thought that it would be worthy of sharing that, because that's certainly something that I've struggled with recently, and I'm starting to learn that no matter what I choose, there are lessons to be learned, and ultimately I do not want to hold resentments. I do not want to linger in negative ways of being. And if that's the core truth, if that's the underlying intention, is whether I help or choose to be of service or not, or I choose to be of service to myself first and foremost, I don't want to linger in these negative emotions any longer. So hopefully some of my confusion and some of my recent experiences can help you uncover what might be happening for you. But I hope this has been helpful, and I hope to speak to you again very soon.